Profit Constructors presents a 9.5-part guide to the basic data and reporting in Knowify. Part 4, Contract Values and AIA Billing.
Okay, we're going to talk about contract values and AIA billing. So if we are in Knowify and we want to go and see what the contract values are on any particular contract, of course, we're going to come into this contract jobs area and open up a currently active job, and we can take a look at the contract and change orders page. Now, for most of our subcontractor clients that are using this, they are working with GCs who are requiring them to submit AIA style invoicing. If that's you, you should be very familiar with the term schedule of values. If that's not something that you do on a regular basis, just know that the schedule of values basically breaks down the job according to areas, maybe phases, perhaps something like in this case, if we're looking at something that's perhaps a plumbing scenario where we have underground, rough-in, and trim plumbing that we're going to be putting into the contract. So on the schedule of values, we get to see what each phase of the job is. We get to see how much of that has been invoiced and if there is a balance left to invoice for that phase. Now, it looks like on this particular contract, the value included 3 original phases of the job, and then there were some change orders that were added, and a change order that was rejected. That is also good information to know as we dig in here in Knowify. And we can see that some of those change orders are still in the process of being billed. Again, a lot of really good data here. You can see what your change order number is. You can see that you can add the GC's change order reference number so that the general contractor that you're billing out to can reference it back to their own internal CO, but you still get to keep your internal CO numbering going the way that you want it to go. And then down at the bottom, again, really good data showing what our original contract was, what the net change is by change order, and then also that contract sum to date. Now you can see, again, if you're used to dealing with these AIAs, how this looks very much like an AIA, but it's not like the G702, G703 form just yet, right? You'll even see that it includes retention, what is being held for retention. So again, a lot of the elements that we would typically see on the AIA style documents, but not an AIA style document in front of us currently. But let's go to this activity tab and let's take a look at an AIA style invoice. So now when we click on this, we're getting a little bit closer to what those AIA G702 and G703 forms look like. We can see once again, original contract, net change by change orders. This is, remember, is for this one invoice. And then the contract sum to date of this invoice, and so on and so forth, including, as you can see, any retainage that was held and what the payment was due and the balance to finish. If we click on view and download, now I think we're getting into some familiar territory as I keep using the terms G702 and G703. And again, if you're that contractor that needs to submit these AIA style documents, this should appear very familiar to you. And the great part about this is that Knowify is doing all of the work for you. Everything's being filled in for you. You don't have to worry about doing manual calculation on the side or filling this in. Now, if you are using something like Oracle's product Textura, where you're being required by the general contractors to submit your billings in a separate system, it could be Textura, it could be Procore, Red Team, a lot of those different things that generals are using. This will still give you, again, calculate everything for you and give you your basis from which to work to do that manual data entry out in the other system. And you should always be reconciling what you see in that other system with what is happening here. And it'll give you a really great basis to know that for sure what you're showing in your Knowify system is what is showing up in the GC's system that they're requiring you to enter that data into. So what is there to know? You can create AIA style invoicing in Knowify that is often accepted by general contractors. And why do we want to know the information that's on here? Well, we want to know for every phase of the job, what percentage has been billed, the balance that's remaining to be billed on that particular phase. And we also want to know what's being held in retention all along so that we can know what our final retention bill will be at the end when we're able to claim and get all of that retention. So there's your little snapshot of what there is to know and how to find it for the contract values and the AIA billing portion of Knowify. Next time, we're going to be talking about purchases and bills. We'll see you back then.